Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be working on a few pages from my Create This Book and my Create This Book 2, created by Mariah Elizabeth. So starting off, I'm going to be working on this page that says create the following lists. First off, create a page of things you like and then a page of things you dislike. Before anything, I got some sketchbook paper and I cut it out to size, just so that I could sketch out my design before actually putting it into the book. This way I could also use any media that I wanted to. So I'm starting off with sketching out the things that I like page. So I started off by drawing out a rainbow, flying in the sky with some clouds. And then I started sketching out some animals, but they're also like stuffed animals. So after sketching out my design, I went over it with some fine liners. Once I finished fine lining my design, I went over all the stray marks with an eraser to get my finished design. And then I started coloring in some of the design with colored pencils. For this video, I really wanted to use lots of different medias that I'm not really good at using and that I don't use too often. And another art supply that I'm not really good at is watercolor. I haven't really practiced it in a long time, but I'm trying to get better at it and learn how to use it correctly. And so I'm also using a lot of watercolor in today's video. And so for this page, I used it mainly just to color in the background. So for this page of things that I liked, I went with some very simple designs. I just stuck with two simple ideas. First being I really like rainbows, and then the second is I really like cute stuffed animals or cute pets and animals. I'm not really sure if they're stuffed animals or if they're pets. They're kind of positioned as if they were stuffed animals, and the colors are kind of more stuffed animal like than actual pet like. And it wasn't really too difficult for me to come up with what to do on this page. The idea came really quickly to me. And so once everything was dry and ready, I covered the pencil marks with Mod Podge. And this is mainly just to protect other pages from rubbing the color off of it. And so for the page of things I dislike, this actually did come a lot harder to me. I wasn't really too sure on what to draw. But for starters, I drew the sun and I tried to make it look like it was hot because I really don't like the heat or summer. I'm more of a winter kind of person. And then I drew a lightning cloud because I'm also not a big fan of lightning. And I drew some spiders and bugs on the ground because I'm also not a big fan of bugs. But this page, I ended up just coloring it in with marker, with some alcohol markers. I'm not the best at using them. I don't really know how to blend them well. And again, for the background, I did paint it blue with the watercolor. I think that the watercolor made a really nice sky effect for my designs. And drawing out and painting and coloring in my designs on this sketchbook paper made it a lot easier than if I would have tried doing it right inside the book. It gave me a lot more freedom and a lot more creativity with what mediums I would use. And so once this page was also completely dry, I glued both of them into the book. And going back to my rule page, the rule that I set myself for this book is to sign and date every page. And that is actually something that I'm planning on doing in both of my books. So I signed and dated the pages of the book. And that's my finished page. The things that I like and the things that I dislike. So for this next page, it says create a music inspired page. Turn on some music and let the music inspire your decorations. Now I can't play the specific music that I was listening to during this because of copyright reasons, but I will say that I really did just let loose on this page. I ended up just using these markers and doodled on the page while I listened to the music. And you can make this like as deep or as emotional you want, depending on your choice of music, or you can make it very playful and like childish like I did. My thought process during this changed a lot. At first I was going to go with kind of like a sky, rain type of feel, but then I just started doodling again, and I just thought I was going to draw out random shapes and random designs on the page. And so this time I did draw right onto the page. I didn't plan anything out. I just did as the page said and just let loose and decorated the page with whatever I felt like doing in the moment while listening to music. I definitely will say this isn't my best artwork. This is why I like to plan out and sketch out my ideas before I actually put it down on paper. Even before this video, for most of the other pages, I did sketch them out in my sketchbook, except for this page and another page that we're going to get to later on. We had to do it there in the moment. I didn't really even think about what I was going to do for this page, since it was something that was supposed to be done in the moment while listening to music. And these markers definitely do bleed onto the next pages, so I will need to cover those up later on when I go to do them. And so this is how the final page came out. It's a little bit of a mess. But moving on from Create This Book 1, let's jump into Create This Book 2. So the first page is Create Confetti. Make confetti by cutting small pieces of paper or other materials and glue them onto this page. So I actually collected these color swatch papers from Home Depot specifically for this page. And so I cut them all up into little pieces to make my confetti, and I drew out and colored in this little character of a girl who's shooting a confetti cannon, just to kind of fill up this space over here and kind of create a little story of why there's confetti everywhere. And so once I glued that in, I started gluing in all the pieces of confetti, which was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. The little pieces of confetti kept sticking onto my fingers. I will say you probably want to cut this smaller than how I did. Confetti is usually not this giant, and it filled up the page a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. And I ended up cutting way too much than what I was actually going to use. And this is the final Create Confetti page. I did date and sign it as well. And I did put a clear coat of Mod Podge over all of the confetti in hopes that it would help it stay better. And so next, this page is create a page of lyrics. Write the lyrics to a song here. And so first I painted this background for the lyrics in watercolor again. I went for a very simple rainbow background, just so that they wouldn't be floating in blank white. And then I drew out this girl dancing and praising to the song. I colored her in with marker. And after gluing in both pages, I wrote down the song. Again, I can't play the song for copyright reasons, but it's called Como Dijiste, or As You Promised, by Christine Di Clario. It's one of my favorite songs, and I would highly recommend you listen to it. It is in Spanish, And the top lyrics that I'm writing now are in Spanish as well, but I do translate it on the bottom half of the page. And again, I signed and dated the page. I did complete all of these pages on the same day. And this is how the final page turned out. And here is a final look at the pages that I did today. In total, 2 from the first Create This Book and 2 from the last. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.